This is the Xidu Philbook, and it's a $230 laptop with an interesting angle. This tiny 11-inch laptop is one of many similarly spec'd low-end laptops. The spec sheet is one that should be very familiar to you if you've browsed these ultra-cheap laptops in the past. It's running an Intel Atom X5 Z8350 at 1.44 GHz, 4 GB of DDR3 RAM, integrated Intel HD graphics, and 64 GB of eMMC storage. For reference, the Intel Atom this thing runs was introduced in Q1 of 2016. It's a very popular chip. It's quad-core, but it's not very powerful. It only scores about 2200 in Geekbench, so it's really only good for very basic tasks. And going along with that, because it's only a 2-watt chip, the Intel integrated graphics are definitely more limited than you would find in your traditional Core i5 or Core i7. What makes this particular design interesting is that it's a 2-in-1, which normally involves a lot of extra engineering and expense. A normal laptop hinge is a lot easier to design, so seeing a 2-in-1 on an ultra cheap is less common, though it's becoming more so as the technology develops. This particular 2-in-1 has some quirks. First of all, there's no mistaking it for a cheap device. The entire construction is plastic, the trackpad feels very cheap, and the tracking isn't very good, and the keyboard deck flexes noticeably when you type on the rather small miniature keyboard. Also, clearly a result of cost-cutting measures, when you convert the laptop, you have to flip this little switch to disable the keyboard and trackpad for tablet mode. It doesn't do it automatically. As you can see, I'm in laptop mode. Keyboard works. If I go ahead and flip it over, and then press the start button, keyboard still works. Design-wise, honestly, these low-end laptops have come a very long way in the last 10 years or so. These things can be traced back to their ancestors from the mid-late 2000s, netbooks.
The birth of the Netbook, Aspire 1, ultra portable, just 1 kg, long battery life, easy to use, with genuine Microsoft Windows XP Home, the world in a small package.
Netbooks were miniature laptops with Intel Atom processors that promised a laptop experience that was miniaturized and much less expensive than full-sized counterparts. The Xidu is a modern-day netbook, and while the family lineage is clear, tech has come a long way since 2008. The most impressive change I've seen in the last 10 years is in display quality. It's now possible that on a budget device like this, we have a 1080p panel with surprisingly solid viewing angles. Thanks to the fall in flash storage prices, you can get flash in these guys a lot more easily now, although this still runs eMMC. All of these components are also a lot smaller than they used to be, so these laptops aren't as bulky and ugly as they used to be. If we take off the back case, you can see how truly tiny the electronics in these laptops are now. As you can tell, there's no upgradability with these machines. The entire package fits onto this minuscule board that actually resembles a thin Raspberry Pi. This is a simple computer with no internal moving parts such as hard drives or fans. It doesn't even have a heatsink, making do with a thermal pad that is adhered to the plastic bottom cover. While it's not uncommon to see these lower-end Atom processors cooled passively, this thermal pad is not cutting it. This thing definitely gets warm, even if it's just, on. Despite the leaps and advancements netbooks have made in the last 11 years, one of which is that they're not really called netbooks anymore, this still falls prey to the ultimate downfall of the netbook. Once you get down to it, it's just not all that useful. A used Lenovo ThinkPad would give you a lot better performance and value. This thing comes in at $230, but for just a few dollars more, say around $250, you could very easily get yourself a Lenovo ThinkPad with a quad-core i7 and even dedicated graphics. Where I can see this computer being useful is as a starter computer for the kids, or perhaps a media center for flights, or a spare computer for when you don't want to risk damaging your daily driver. I mean, there's no mistaking this thing for a small computer. It's not ugly, and it's certainly not bulky or heavy. However, I really can't see using this as a daily driver. It doesn't seem like a primary device to me. If you're looking for a primary device on a budget, used is definitely the better way to go at this price point. However, for a secondary device, if you need something that's new, I could see this being useful. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll have the Philbook linked down in the description below if you want to check it out. And as usual, make sure to follow me on Twitter at LukeMiani. Don't forget to join my subreddit and like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video.